Questions 1 through 10 on the 2016 Grade 12 AMC 12B. The value of that expression when a is a half is, well, we can go straight and head into that expression. 2 over a, 1 over 2a, all over a. Get a common denominator, top and bottom by 2, and that becomes 4 plus 1, which is 5 over 2a, all over a. This becomes 5 over 2a squared. Now we can substitute a equal to a half, and when we do, you get 2 times a quarter in the denominator, and that's really just a half, so it's 5 over a half, and 5 divided by a half is 10. So number 1, the answer is D. The harmonic mean of two numbers can be computed as twice their product divided by their sum. The harmonic mean of 1 in 2016 is closest to which integer? Harmonic mean, HM, would be, if you have two numbers, it would be AB, 2 times AB, over A plus B. So in our case, our numbers are 1 in 2016, so it would be 2 times 1 times 2016 divided by 1 plus 2016. Well, since we're approximating, this is really just 2 times 2016 approximately over 2016, since the 1 doesn't really add much to the denominator, and this is approximately, well, this is exactly 2, but it's an approximation, of course, to this guy right here. So number 2, the answer is 2, which is choice A. X is negative 2016. What is the value of this expression? All right, so negative 2016 absolute value minus 2016, so it would be plus 2016. And then all that, we get an absolute value minus the absolute value of negative 2016, and then minus 2016 would be plus 2016. So this guy is positive and positive, so you get 4032, and this would be positive, so you're subtracting that. And then this looks like just 2016, and then we have that plus 2016, and then this is 4032. So the answer to number 3 is D. The ratio of the measures of two angles, acute angles, is 5 to 4. The complement of one of these two angles is twice as large as the complement of the other angle. What is the sum of the degree measures of the two angles? 5x and 4x are those angles, and they're saying that the complements, which would be subtracting those from 90, remember complementary angles add up to 90, so the complements would be 90 minus 5x and 90 minus 4x. And they're saying that these complements are, one is double the other. So since this is smaller than that, this is smaller than that. So 90 minus 4x is equal to 2 times 90 minus 5x. So this is the math we have to do. So expanding this, we get 90 minus 4x is equal to 180 minus 10x, and therefore 90 is equal to 6x. X is equal to 15. X is 15, so therefore 4x is 60, 5x is 75, and then when you add them, you get 135. So number 4, the answer is C. The War of 1812 started with a declaration of war on Thursday, June 18, 1812. The peace treaty to end the war was signed 919 days later, on December 24th, 1814. On what day of the week was the treaty signed? Make a little calendar for yourself, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. And then let's talk about how to do this. So Thursday is June 18th, right? So this is my June 18th right here. Well, every 7th day afterwards, it would be a Thursday. So 7 days later, 14 days later, 21 days later, and so on. So 919, all we have to do is just figure out if it's a multiple of 7 or not. And if it isn't, then what's the remainder? Well, 919 divided by 7 is 131 with a remainder of 2. So basically, you would get to a Thursday on the 917th day, because that's a multiple of 7. and then one more day, and then one more day to get to the 919th day. So this would be the 918th day and then the 919th day, which of course is a Saturday. So number 5, the answer is B. All three vertices of triangle ABC lie on the parabola defined by y is equal to x squared, with A at the origin and BC parallel to the x-axis. The area of the triangle is 64. What is the length of BC? All right, let's draw a little diagram, and off we go. So that parabola will look something like this. Y is equal to x squared. Something like that. Not perfectly drawn, but that's okay. And we have B, C, and A, right? So B here, C here, and A is the origin. So we can connect the dots and make a little triangle. So the coordinates of C are x, y. But since this graph is y is equal to x squared, y is x squared. So the coordinates of C are x squared. So that means from here to here is x. And because of the symmetry of this diagram, from there to there is also x. And then from here to here is the y coordinate, which is x squared. So now we can easily figure out the area of that triangle, 1/2 base times height. This is the base and this is the height. So the base is 2x and the height is x squared. And the area is 64. So on this side, looks like we have x to the power of 3. Therefore, taking the cube root of both sides, you get 4. They want you to find the length BC. Well, BC is from there to there. BC is 2x, and x is 4, so that's 8. So number 6, the answer is C. Josh writes the numbers 1, 2, 3 all the way to 99, 100. He marks out 1, skips the next number, 2, marks out 3, and continues skipping and marking out the next number to the end of his list. Then he goes back to the start of his list, marks out the first remaining number 2, skips the next number 4, marks out the 6, skips the 8, marks out the 10, and so on to the end. Josh continues in this manner until only one number remains. What is that number? Well, let's see. Hopefully it won't take us too long. So I'm just going to write out a few, right? So what they're doing is he marks out, so crosses out. I don't know why they wrote marks. It makes me confused. He crosses out 1. Then he leaves the 2, he crosses out the 3. Leaves the 4, crosses out the 5. So like that. So it looks like initially he's just crossing out all the odd numbers. So what's left are all the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on. Okay. Next time he does this, he crosses out the first number, which in this case would be a 2. And then he leaves the next number, and then he crosses out the 6, leaves the next number, crosses out the 10, and so on, right? So the numbers that are now remaining now are 4, 8, 12, ... Okay, so now what I have to do is I'm going to try to see what is the difference. I'm going to just write it here, difference. The difference of these numbers looks like 4. That's going to be important. Okay, so now we go do the same thing again. We cross out the first one, and then we leave in the second one. Cross out the second one, or the next one, and leave in the next one. When we leave in the next one, that would be a 16 because the difference is 4, right? So that means the numbers that are left are 8, 16, and so on. And this time the difference is 8. And that's important because it allows me to add what the next number is when I know the difference. Okay, again, cross out the 8, leave the next number, cross out the 24, leave the next number, which in this case would be 32. Okay, so what's left is 16 and 32. The difference this time is 16. So that means the numbers are 16, 32, 48, 64, and so on. So again, cross out the 16, leave the 32, cross out the 48, leave the 64. So I got 32, 64, and this time the difference is 32. So that means 32, 64, and 96. And then there's no number after that since it only goes up to 100. Okay, cross out the 32, cross out 96, and what's left is 64. And at this point, the difference would be 64, but it would be no 128 because it only goes up to 100. So that means since there's no 128, the 64 is the only number left. And therefore, number 7, the answer is D. A thin piece of wood of uniform density in the shape of an equilateral triangle with side length 3 inches weighs 12 ounces. A second piece of the same type of wood with the same thickness, also in the shape of an equilateral triangle, has side length 5 inches. Which of the following is closest to the weight in ounces of the second piece? Well, they're using density, which is mass over volume, or weight over volume. And therefore, if we can figure out the volume, we can figure out the density. The mass or the weight is 12 ounces of that first equilateral triangle. So let's concentrate on the volume. Volume will be area times the thickness. And the area of this equilateral triangle, we can easily figure out using 30, 60, 90 triangles. So here we go. This is obviously a right angle. And I'll call this H. And what is it, 3? So this would be 3 over 2, since that altitude would cut that side in half. And as I'm sure you know, this is 30 degrees and 60 degrees. And the ratio of the sides are 1, 2, and root 3. So using those ratios, H over 3 over 2 will be root 3 over 1. So therefore, H is equal to root 3 root 3 over 2. So therefore, the area would be 1/2 base, which is 3, times height, which is 3 root 3 over 2, and times that t. So that is 9 root 3 over 4t. So that goes here, 9 root 3 over 4t. Now we do the exact same thing, and this time, of course, we're doing it for a triangle that's a little bit bigger. This time, the equilateral triangle has side length of 5. So same story. Again, H over, this time this would be 5 over 2, and this is H. H over 5 over 2 is equal to root 3 over 1, and therefore H is equal to 5 root 3 over 2. And therefore the volume would be 1/2 base, which is 5, times height, which is 5 root 3 over 2, times the thickness. So the volume would be 25 root 3 over 4 times t. Okay. So since the two pieces are made of the same wood, they have the same density. So the density of the first guy was 12 over 9 root 3 over 4t. The density of the second one would be mass over the volume, which is this right here, which is 25 root 3 over 4t. All right, so now we have to just calculate the mass or the volume. The mass or the weight. Well, a lot cancels. The t's cancel, the root 3's cancel, the 4's cancel. So cross multiplying, I have 9m and 12 times 25. So m looks like 300 over 9. And that is what? 100 over 3, which is approximately 33.33. And therefore, number 8, the answer is D. Carl decided to fence in his rectangular garden. He bought 20 fence posts, placed one on each of the 4 corners, and spaced out the rest evenly along the edges of the garden, leaving exactly 4 yards between neighboring posts. The longer side of his garden, including the corners, has twice as many posts as the shorter side, including the corners. What is the area in square yards of Carl's garden? So here's his garden. And we got to label this now. So we got post here, and post there at the corners. And then let the number of posts along that be B. And let the number of posts along there be A. Well, we are told that B plus those 2 corner posts is twice A plus the 2 corner posts. The question is basically saying that. And then we also know that the total number of posts is equal to 20. So that would be 2a plus 2b plus 4 is equal to 20. So we got 2 equations, 2 variables. We can easily solve this now. The first one, a plus b plus 2 is equal to 10. So that means b plus 2 would be 10 minus a, so I can just put 10 minus a there. Really quickly do that. So 2a plus 4, so that's going to give me 6 is equal to 3a, and therefore a is equal to 2. And then I guess if a is 2, then substituting back into here, I get b is equal to 6. All right, that's it. So that means I've got to put 6 along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, evenly spaced, and I've got to put just 2 along here. And these, I know it's not drawn to scale, sorry, but these are 4 yards apart. 4, 4, 4, like that. And these are also 4 apart. So it looks like this dimension is 12, 4 times 3, and then this dimension is what, 7 times 4, which is 28. So therefore the area is 12 times 28, and 12 times 28 is 336, number 9, therefore the answer is B. A quadrilateral has vertices PAB, QBA, R, negative A, negative B, and S, negative B, negative A, where A and B are integers, and A is greater than B is greater than 0. The area of PQRS is 16. What is A plus B? Let us draw a diagram on the coordinate axes, and let's see what we get. So A is greater than B, so I'll put B here and then A out here. And then very similarly, we can put negative B, negative A, and so on, right? B, A, negative B, negative A. So AB would be approximately here, AB, and then what is it? BA, that's here, approximately, BA. And then the other guys are what? The negative B, negative A, which is here, negative B, negative A, and the last one is negative A, negative B, so that's here. Negative A, negative B. Okay, so now let's join them. So we're going to join these guys, so to make it look, hopefully, like a quadrilateral, and definitely looks like a quadrilateral. Okay, so now the area, if this side, let's say, is x and this side is y, these length and width, the area, of course, is x times y. And the area, they told me, is 16. Well, x I can figure out from the distance formula using those coordinates. So be a minus b squared plus b minus a squared under the square root sign. And then the y, it would be the same sort of story. Let's see here. B minus minus a, so b plus a squared. And then plus a minus minus b, so a plus b, all squared. And under the square root sign, because we're calculating distances. This looks like it's 2a minus b squared, because b minus a and a minus b are the same thing when you square them. And then this looks like 2 times a plus b squared. Okay, when you take the square root, this becomes root 2, this becomes just a minus b. This becomes root 2, and then a plus b. And then root 2 times root 2 is 2, so that means this will be 8. And then all you have left with a is a minus b and a plus b. All right. Well, a and b are integers, and that's very, very helpful, the fact that they're integers. So the only combinations would be 8 times 1 or 4 times 2. And I think those are the only combinations. Okay, let's go with the first one. If a plus b is 8 and a minus b is 1, if you add them, we get 2a is equal to 9, so a is equal to 4.5. Okay, well, that doesn't work because 4.5 is not an integer. So let's try this guy, the 4 and 2. A plus b is 4, a minus b is 2. If you add these guys, you get 2a is equal to 6, a is 3, and then substituting a equal to 3 into here, we get b is equal to 1, and those are indeed both integers. A plus b, therefore, is 4. So the answer to number 10 is A.